Hey guys, what's up? It's RVLP for you, and today I'm doing a tutorial on how to make this wallpaper right here. This was kind of something I just thought of randomly like a month or two ago. I think it was a month ago, but whatever. But basically, this is kind of just, I don't know, like a dark, apocalyptic, like hurricane-looking wallpaper. So this raft is added in like after, so it's not like they're actually paddling away from anything. This was kind of added in, and then I have this little wave coming, about to hit the rocks, and they are trying to paddle away from it. Unfortunately, they will not win, most likely. And then I have this moon here because it kind of adds like that apocalyptic look to it, I guess. So yeah, so let's get started. As you can see, there are a few layers, but nothing too bad. You have to be pretty good at masking, like you have to understand it. But if you don't, then I can make a tutorial about masking. It's not that hard to get, you just need to practice with it. So let's just start up a new document. I'll go 1280 by 768, and then normal resolution, 8-bit is what you need. Background contents does not matter. Okay, so we'll just have that open, and then you need these 5 images. I mean, you can use the other ones if you like them better, but yeah, so we'll just bring this in here, and then while we hold shift and alt if you're on a PC, and I think it will be shift and command on a Mac, you just drag it up until you see something you like. So, and then I'll just use the arrow keys to bump it over. So there we go, because I want to have a little bit of room over here for the wave. Okay, so we have that. Now what we want to do is we want to make a selection around the sky so we can darken up the sky, because obviously it looks way too pretty to be like apocalyptic and like nighttime-ish. So first of all, we'll just go up to this tool right here. That is a quick selection tool, and we'll just kind of drag it around here. What I like about this is the lines are so like pronounced, like there's a straight horizon and then there's lots of jagged lines, that it kind of gives a good selection. So as you can see right here, it's kind of messing up, so we'll just kind of fix that, and we can all fix that later because this mask will be editable. Okay, now that we have this selected, what we can do is we'll just make a new layer, and then we probably have to tinker with it a little bit, but that's fine. So we'll just find a nice color we want. I don't remember what color I used exactly, but you kind of want to use a little dark color, and then kind of just paint over it. Actually, that seems a little bit too bright still, so we'll just bring it down a little bit, because this is meant to darken up the sky, excuse me. So just paint over that, and then we can use soft light at 100%. Okay, so now that you have this, you can kind of just deselect it, because if you need to get it again, you can just hold Control and then right click on it to get the mask again. But now we're going to add a hue and saturation layer. Okay, so for the first saturation layer, you want to have the values at 232, then 12, and this will kind of just darken everything up and give it like a bluish tint, and then you want to hit -7 for the darkness. So there we go, that gives the sky a little bit more of a thing. And then you want to hit it one more time and do another one, no colorizing this time. Then you want to hit 0, 0, then just darken up the sky to -17. So there we go, that gives it a little bit. And then next we want to bring in the ocean picture. If I can find it, here we go. So we have this little ocean picture, and then you just size it up, and usually I do about the size of the horizon, so you can see the horizon's kind of right there. And then now this, you don't really have to keep it in the right aspect ratio, because it is the ocean, so it's not gonna make a whole lot of difference. So we'll just turn the opacity down so we can match it up to the thing. We'll just make that a little bigger, then tilt it so I get a more of a flatter, more of a even matchup. But we can't always fix this with masking. Okay, that looks fine. So we'll just turn that up, and then this is where the masking comes in. You want to have this, and we can paint in black. You want to get rid of this. And then, right now you just want to get rid of the outline. Just kind of want to paint away this. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as you get rid of this. So, because you want to also get rid of the rock, like get rid of the overlay on the rocks too. So, this is where it kind of comes into personal preference. So we need to switch back to white to bring some in. I'll just zoom in a little bit. You can also zoom in with your scroll wheel. You'll just have to set that up in the preferences. Okay, so looks good, and then just kind of, if I could actually hit the right button, hit the left bracket key to get rid of some of this. Okay, get rid of some of that, because you want to keep some of the rock in there. Okay. Okay, if you look at the original picture, the tide is really low, so you actually want to bring it up a little bit because that'll make it look a little bit more realistic. Just get rid of that, and this is really personal preference. Whatever you think looks good is good enough. I'm just showing you how I do it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Actually, I don't like that at all. Let me just hit Control Z, and that looks pretty good. So I know there's still that white line right there, but we will fix that. Okay, so now we want to hit and make a levels adjustment to darken up the thing. So 50, so bring that down to a 50, and then 1, and then 255. So now you can see this is kind of getting a little bit better in there. And now, as you can see, this is kind of getting, the thing is really blown out. I turned it down to about 50. And then there you go. So now it's a little bit better. This looks a little dark for me, so I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Okay. The opacity wise to about 80%. Looks good to me. And this will pretty much turn out different for everyone because it just depends on where you're putting everything. Next, you want to add in the wave over here. And this is really subjective, so you can add the wave if you want. If you don't want it to, then it is definitely not a big problem if you don't. So I put the curve right about there where it's starting to come over. Okay. So now this is where the masking comes in. We'll bring that all the way up. And then we will mask it because you don't want it to be going over the rocks, obviously. So just turn that down so you can see what's going on. Okay, so now that we have this little thing here, I went ahead and brought over my mask from the from the original copy because I wanted it to look like that. But really, if I kind of just wherever you want it to look like, you can use it. So there you go. So there we go. Now we have this and this. That's how I did that. So for the mask, I just clicked on this, so I have that. Then I hit Control, and then that'll just bring up this little selection. Then you bring up this elliptical marquee tool or whatever marquee tool you have. Bring that up and bring it in there, and then you can just line it up however you want. Okay, so now on to the next part, and that is to add in the moon. So we'll just bring in the moon. Now this is where it kind of gets fun, because this is really however you want it to look. So just kind of bring that down and then position it however you want it to look. And then to get rid of the black, you want to go to screen. And then kind of just position it however you want it to look. I like this. And then get your mask out and just brush over it in white or black, excuse me. So just turn that down a little bit so we can see more of what we are doing. Okay, and then this is where you can leave some of the white on the outside, because then it looks like the moon is kind of shining its light over everything else. So something simple like this is not that bad. Okay, then that is pretty much what you want to do. And then I know what I'll do. I'll just hit the eraser tool and it'll work fine. Except I'm on the layer mask, so I don't want to do that. That's fine. So you just kind of want to get rid of this. So that's why I'm using the eraser tool, because it is messing this up. And I don't know why it's leaving this outline, because I'm using a white brush. At least I'm pretty sure I am. Okay. That looks good to me. And then we'll just hit copy by hitting Control J, and then we'll put a levels adjustment on that. So just hit levels. The levels were 86, so bring that up to 86. I know it looks dark right now, but I will fix that. And then 0.35. Okay, 0.35. And then I know this looks bad, but we'll just hit Alt and kind of go in between these two layers, and then there you go. So that just kind of darkened it. So we'll just hit moon copy, and then we should be naming these, but I'm not really focusing on that. Okay, so now that you have that, bring in a new copy, and this is going to be like the moon reflection. So be kind of small, and it doesn't have to look perfect either, because it is going to be so small. So that's about the same size. And put it on screen. Hit OK, and then basically you can just kind of bring it down here. Kind of smush it so it looks like it's overlaid onto the ground. We'll just put that right there. And then bring the opacity down a lot, because this is just kind of supposed to do that. And then, so one thing that you can do to make this look a little bit better and actual like a reflection is to put a Gaussian blur on it, and I'll kind of just blur it a little bit. So I'll just bring the blur up a little bit. There we go. That looks good, and then kind of just gives it a little bit of a thing. Well, I have on my other one just 42% for the opacity. Then I'll just hit reflection. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is you want to add in the raft. So as you can see, this little picture, I'll bring that up if I can move this out of the way first. So I'll bring that up first. Now this is the unmasked out version, and I'm not going to take the time to mask this out again, so I'll just grab the copy I have from the previous version of this. But if you want to mask it out, pretty much you can just use this tool, or if you want to get a very, very, very precise mask, use the pen tool and kind of just pen, like, just kind of make a selection around that. If you want to get really precise, like you want to get in like the really straight curves and everything, the really straight lines, you can do that, but that is pretty time consuming. But yeah, so I'll just grab the copy from, where is it? Here. So bring the raft. I have it masked out already, as I mentioned earlier. First we need to hit Control D to get rid of the selection. There we go. Bring it down. And that's another problem we need to get rid of. We need to not partner that. There we go. So as you can see, this looks completely terrible because it is way too bright, because in the picture the sun was shining directly down on them, but because there is obviously no sun here, it's just the moon. You want to bring up a hue and saturation layer, and then you want to go to colorize, and this will look really bad right now, but 86 it looks like, if I'm looking at the right one. Oh, 240, that's why I can't even read my own writing. Okay, there we go. 240, 16, and then the lightness down to 10, -10. And there you go. And then to clip it to just the raft layer, hit Alt, and then this will come up, this little box. Then I will clip it to that. There we go. And then you want to bring up a levels adjustment layer, because as you can see now it's way too blue. You want to hit it on 83, and this will be clipped to the thing as well. So 83, 90, or 0.90 actually, 0.90, and then 255. Okay, now one thing I forgot to mention earlier was that you want to bring this down to about 33-ish%, whatever you think looks good. So there you go. Now it looks a little bit better, but if you want to, you can bring it up a little bit more to darken it. So this looks good right about there. And then that is pretty much it. If you want to brighten it up a little bit, you can just do a whole levels layer above that. So I'll just do that to make some space. It doesn't really matter. You can just brighten it up a little bit. So that's pretty much it. You can see the before and after. So before and after. And yeah, so if you want to know why this is kind of like sharper and that you can see the jagged lines more, that's because I added a sharpening layer to the rocks. So I'll just go to rocks, then filter, sharpen, sharpen, and then you can just hit Control F until you're happy with it. So there you go. Not too hard to do. Looks pretty good, I think. If you guys want the final copy of this and you want the images to work with and you don't want to have to Google around to find them, I will have a little download you can have down below, and you can just download that. It's completely free. If you guys want to show me your finished products or anything that you've done, that'd be pretty cool. If you just want to email them to me, or if you link them to me in a personal message, that's pretty cool. So yep, hopefully you enjoyed. This is our Valve for you. Peace.